Hi guys, here we are today with the next class on this customs duty. So customs duty. So here we are going to see how we are going to apply different rates of duty of customs to our problems. Okay, so customs duty here is classified into import duty and export duty. So import duty is as per the first schedule and export duty is as per the second schedule. Okay, and customs tariff act gives you all the tariff rates of import and export duty. So only the difference is the first schedule will contain all the duties related to import and second schedule will contain all the duties related to export. So import duty, so this is flow chart is there in your book. So here if you can see basic customs duty that is applicable based on the tariff, applicable tariff to the goods, and basic customs duty, okay, that includes the social welfare surcharge also. So basic customs duty is nothing but the customs duty plus social welfare surcharge. Okay, next is the protective duty. So what is that? So protective duties are the duty which is used to protect the interest of the industry as a whole. So the domestic industry, if it feels that the import is affecting the domestic manufacturers, so the industry will take a call with the Central Board of Indirect Taxes, and Board of Indirect Taxes may issue notification for this protective duties. So what is then safeguard duty? Safeguard duty is to protect the domestic manufacturing itself. It's not a call taken by industry, it's a call taken by the manufacturers association, so that the board provides an appropriate notification of the duty so that imports are little bit restricted. At the same time, the creativity and the cost optimization ideas are evolved in the local. Okay, so that is the safeguard duty, safeguard against the import. So next is the countervailing duty on subsidized article. So certain articles which are imported on the subsidized rates, so countervailing duty is put on that, so that it is not cheaper than the domestic goods. Next is anti-dumping duty. Okay, so there may be some items which may be imported even below the cost of manufacturing, which means it is getting dumped. Okay, so those dumping should be prevented, so that the board will give a notification in the newspaper also. You can see often the many Chinese products anti-dumping duty would be given on that. For example, 1 or 2 years back, even on the rubber goods, some notification come anti-dumping duty, because industry board requested. There is a lot of rubber being imported, so the local rubber manufacturers also suffered. So the board coupled with the central government, they will take an appropriate move to this notification, and they notify anti-dumping duty on the list of specified goods. Next is the IGST. We must be aware of this. So it is the GST, so domestic manufacturer paying the GST. So the same paying should be there for the imported item also, so that both the goods are treated at par. So that is the IGST. And GST compensation cess, that we will see now. Okay, so these all list of 7 duties are part of the import duty. So export duty, yes, so we saw earlier that for export is good for the country, it's good for the reducing our deficit also. So as a whole it is good for the economy, but not all the exported goods, not all export is good, because there may be some goods which is having some sin in it, or it may be very precious for us, or the local demand itself is more than the production. So at that time we cannot give that to for the export. That will maybe reduce our deficit, but it will really make the population suffer from it. So looking at these points, so export duty has been fixed on only certain articles has been given here. Rice bran oil cakes, which means the rice in which oil is sucked out and the cake is the left out, or a residue, 10% of the duty. Luggage leather, so leather used to make the luggage, 25% duty, but other than luggage purposes it will be 15% duty. Snake skins and raw fur, so 10% duty. ferrous waste and scrap, 15% duty. So only this item, list of items are given as of now for this export duty, but based on the requirement, appropriate notifications will be released for the other items also when it is joint call taken by the industry body, domestic manufacturer association, central government, okay, and the central board of indirect taxes as a whole. So next, what is this? So basic customs duty, I said social welfare surcharge is also part of it. So what is social welfare surcharge? It is 10% of basic customs duty. This is a norms. But except certain goods like gold, silver and platinum plated. So it may be plated in a powdered way or semi-manufactured way. So either way it is going to be 3% of the basic customs duty. Other than this, all items it is going to be 10% of BCD. Okay, so earlier before the social welfare surcharge, we were paying education cess, secondary higher education cess. So that is omitted from February 2018 onwards. So that is no more. Then there is some road and infrastructure cess. So this is on motor spirit, nothing but petrol or gasoline and high speed diesel. So for petrol and diesel, 8 rupees per liter, that is the road and infrastructure cess. Okay, and there is no social welfare surcharge for the exported goods. So here we saw the export duty. So for this export duty, this is also customs duty, but on this customs duty, social welfare surcharge is not applicable. Okay, so next, about the GST notification. So we all know very well that on 1st July of 2017, it's a very big day for the indirect taxation. That is the GST launch date. Okay, so the GST rates are applicable from 1st July 2017. So here there is a small scenario. This may be asked for you in the problem. So we have to be little bit clear. Okay, so earlier we saw bill of entry, guys. So bill of entry is nothing but a sheet of paper in which the imported goods will be put into assessment. Okay, appropriate exchange rate will be put, appropriate duty rates will be put, that all we saw earlier, and the bill of entry will be the calculation sheet in which the output, how much duty you need to pay the import goods, that will be detailedly calculated. So that will be the bill of entry sheet. Okay, so now IGST, whether applicable or not for your imported goods, because 1st July 2017 is the GST launch date. Okay, so now arrival of goods is on or after 1st July, but bill of entry is also filed after 1st July. There is no doubt at all, IGST is applicable. Next is X bond. What is X bond? The imported goods has come and it has gone to warehouse. So from the warehouse is called bonded warehouse. So you need to file a X bond bill of entry to take those goods out of the warehouse. So now you are filing X bond bill of entry and you are filing it after 1st July 2017. There is no doubt, even if the goods has come before 1st July 2017, IGST is applicable. Okay, the third scenario is cargo has been arrived after 1st July 2017 only, but we can file bill of entry advance also. We saw that earlier. So advance bill of entry has been filed by the manufacturer with support of the customs agent. Okay, that is before 1st 7. So which means the advance bill of entry will have the duty rates on the pre-GST scenario, but the cargo has been arrived after the GST notification only. So which means that bill of entry should be reassessed. Okay, so the new revised bill of entry should be filed with the proper officer guidance and IGST should be paid on that. Okay, so that's about this, guy. So we need to be very careful. This scenario is very important, so please have this in mind. Okay, and moving to the next slide. So guys, so we saw about IGST, how it is applicable, but how to calculate the IGST? Okay, so for that first we need to calculate the basic customs duty. So what is basic customs duty? So basic customs duty multiplied by the assessable value is going to be the basic customs duty portion. On this portion you are applying the social welfare surcharge. Okay, and this is added to the okay, so this is the social welfare surcharge, this is the basic customs duty, and this is the assessable value. So assessable value plus basic customs duty plus social welfare surcharge plus anti-dumping duty plus safeguard duty, and applying the IGST percentage on this will give you the IGST value. So it's very simple, guys. So assessable value is the value of goods that has been exported from the foreign country. It is going to incur some freight cost, which means logistics cost. It may be traveled through airways or ship route, plus insurance, so that is going to be the CIF value, and some landing charges, and that is going to be the assessable value. So assessable value plus basic customs duty on the assessable value plus social welfare surcharge on the basic customs duty plus anti-dumping duty and safeguard duty, and applying the IGST percentage on that is going to give you the IGST value. Next is the GST compensation cess. Okay, so GST compensation cess is for the luxury cars and demerit goods. Okay, because for the domestic manufacturer also this GST compensation cess is there. So the same pain has to be there for the imported goods, or else it will be a cost effective imported goods and domestic manufacturers will suffer. Okay, so what are all these demerit goods? Pan masala, tobacco and aerated drinks. Okay, as of now GST compensation cess is only for 5 years. We know 1st July 2017 GST has been enacted till 1st July 2022, which means for 5 years only this GST compensation cess as of now it is notified. Okay, maybe government may, most probably, because these are all demerit goods, most probably they may extend this, but as of now it is only for 5 years. Next is GST compensation cess is also eligible for input tax credit, but it can be set off against GST compensation cess only. For example, here you can see the GST cess range. Okay, for example, you are having a factory which processes tobacco. So getting the tobacco, you may incur this much of GST compensation cess, and while selling the tobacco product you may once again expend this much of GST compensation cess. So for example, your output tax is 5,000 rupees and the input tax is 1,000 rupees. Okay, so you are eligible for input tax credit with the compensation cess only. Okay, so the output compensation says you have 5,000, input for getting the inputs you have paid 1,000, so the delta is only 4,000, and 4,000 you need to pay while taking the goods out of your factory. Okay, so that is the GST compensation cess, eligible for input tax credit but can be set off against GST compensation cess only. Okay, so how to calculate GST compensation cess? It is very simple and it is exactly same as IGST which we saw earlier. Assessable value plus basic customs duty plus social welfare surcharge plus anti-dumping duty plus safeguard duty and GST compensation cess percentage. So only one point to be noted, guys. IGST value is not part of calculation for GST compensation cess. So here IGST is not taken into this. Okay, only anti-dumping duty, safeguard duty, basic custom duty, social welfare surcharge are taken into this. So that is a very important point that to be noted while calculating the GST compensation cess. Okay, now we will understand all this stuff from a problem which is given below. But before that, you can see here these are the demerit goods. This is the luxury goods. Okay, GST rate 28% is applicable. Here different rates are applicable. Okay, and so here the GST cess range is given and this is the ceiling. So this is the ceiling, which is the upper limit is also given. This is the range is also given. Okay, so this is there in your book, but just have in your mind, guys. So 28% is there for all the demerit and luxury goods except coal, which is having a 5% GST rate applicable, and the GST cess in the range of 400 rupees per ton. Okay. So here we are seeing a problem. In this problem, we are importing a car, and this car is having accessible value itself for 3 crore rupees. Okay, so accessible value is nothing but the cost of vehicle is 3 crore rupees, And next is the basic customs duty is given as 10%, which is very easy. So 10% on 3 lakh, it's 3 crore, it's going to be 30 lakh rupees. Next we are going to do the social welfare surcharge. Okay, so we saw that earlier. So social welfare surcharge for all the goods except the gold, silver, we saw that for that only it is 3%. For all other goods it's at 10%. So 10% of basic customs duty, that is the key here. Okay, 10% of basic customs duty, which is 3 lakh rupees. So that is calculated. So basic customs duty is calculated nothing but the customs duty 30 lakhs plus 3 lakh, which is the social welfare surcharge. So 30 plus 3, 33 lakhs is going to be the basic customs duty. So that is calculated. We have calculated this. Next, IGST rates is given as 28%. So what is GST? So if you see here, the total customs duty payable is 33 lakhs is given, and now we have to do a sum notification summation. 3 crore rupee plus 33 lakhs is 3 crore and 33 lakhs. This is the cost after customs duty that should be used for calculating the IGST. So IGST for that is 93.24 lakhs. Okay, so we have calculated the IGST. It is nothing but 93.24 lakhs. Okay, and next is the GST compensation cess. So what is that? Here it is given 20% of compensation cess is applicable. Same way, we have to take the total cost after customs duty. We should not include IGST for calculating the compensation cess. That is the most important point which we saw in the last point above. So the compensation cess is 20% on the cost after customs duty, nothing but 66.6 lakhs. So we have calculated the GST compensation cess also. Next, what is the GST input tax credit that is applicable? Okay, so GST rate is nothing but the IGST. So for this IGST is 93.24 lakhs. For this 93.24 lakhs, input tax credit is applicable. Okay, 66.60 input tax credit against GST is not applicable, but as we saw earlier, if it can be eligible for input tax credit but can be set off against output GST compensation cess only. For GST alone, the input tax credit is 93.24 only. For GST compensation cess, it can be set off against GST compensation cess only. So 66.60. So input tax credit will be applicable for 93.24 only.